morning everyone, and welcome to a reading vlog on a very rainy, slightly muggy day. Basically a day where it is perfect to stay inside and read lots of books and do absolutely nothing else. So the books that I want to read today, I feel like this is very optimistic, but we're gonna see how far we can get through. I have 3 books. And none of them are particularly small. So we'll go in order of what I really want to read. So the book that I really want to read today is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. As far as I know, the story follows a woman called Emma, and she, at the start of the novel, is at dinner for her dad's birthday, and she's at dinner with her fiance. And at the end of this dinner, she ends up getting a phone call from her husband. And it turns out that her husband, who had actually disappeared in a helicopter accident years and years ago, is actually still alive and has been trying to find her. This sounds like it's going to be an emotional book. It sounds like a book that I'm going to cry at. So because of that, the next book that I want to read today, if I do manage to finish this one, is a little bit more lighthearted. So after that, I want to read Anne of Avonlea, I think that's how you pronounce it, by L.M. Montgomery. I actually found that the whole Anne of Green Gables series is on Kindle for 99p. So I downloaded that yesterday and I absolutely loved reading Anne of Green Gables. So I'm really in the mood to carry on with the series and see where it goes. I think I've heard that she gets older with every book. So I'm intrigued to see how what was definitely a children's book in Anne of Green Gables maybe matures over the series. I'm intrigued to see if it will still feel like a children's book or if it will kind of grow with Anne. And then the third one is very much an if. I'm not massively expecting that I'm going to end up reading this book, but I have actually already started it. So that is Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. I don't think I know I won't finish it today, but maybe if I can just get a little bit further in, that would be a massive achievement. I also forgot to say that the reason that I'm doing this video is because I really want to catch up with my reading goal. I set myself a goal of reading 50 books this year. I think I'm 1 book behind on my reading challenge on Goodreads. And next week I know that I'm not going to have any time to read at all. So that will put me 2 books behind. So my goal today is to read at least 2 books so that I can be back on track with my reading goal and just that little bit ahead so that I don't fall behind after next week. Thank you so much for joining me. It means so much that you're here. If you haven't already, go and grab yourself a cup of tea or a coffee or a cozy drink, and I'm gonna go get a cup of tea and a cozy blanket and snuggle up with One True Loves. Is it?
Yeah, it's
I thought I was doing a bad job.
No, it's such a really satisfying to watch.
Well, you know, forget ASMR. Just spreading jam on scones.
Yeah, it's very satisfying to watch. It's quite a lot of cream,
I'll
such a
spread
little bit of jam.
Let me just spread that onto that one.
You are terrible. Aesthetically, they look desperate.
Do they?
Well, they do with the way you spreaded the first one. That was terrible. Look at it.
Just look at this one instead. That was better.
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay. She goes to the gym, so you can just do this for me.
Yeah, it's just the same, isn't it? I got ripped off it. That's right, I'm going to stop.
Yeah. So I have finished my first book of today's little readathon, and I finished One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and oh my goodness, I sobbed. At the most, I feel like books can elicit a damp eye or a welling up in my eyes, but very rarely does a book make me completely sob. And I sobbed at least 5 times throughout the duration of this book. There was so much emotion. I feel like this book just drops you into the most horrible, emotional and confusing situation that you could imagine when it comes to a relationship, and does such an amazing job of making it really not obvious and really complicated as to what the outcome should be. and oh my gosh, it plays on your heartstrings. As I'm thinking about this book now, I've got like this fast beating heart as I'm trying to imagine what this character was going through in the decisions that she had to make. Oh, it was awful, but at the same time it was such a good book. I wrote down some of my favourite quotes as I was reading it, which is something that I really want to do more of. I really want to, when I read a book, pay a bit more attention to the writing and write down the quotes and the sections that I really enjoyed reading. So I thought I'd share just 3 of those quotes with you, because I feel like they really summarise what this story is kind of about without giving any spoilers. So the first one was, good things don't wait until you're ready. Sometimes they come right before, when you're almost there. The second quote was, I think I just love you that much, he said. That even standing next to you as you cram Burger King into your mouth is special to me. Oh, so beautiful. And then the third one is, I wish I didn't say it so often. I wish that my love wasn't so casual and pervasive, so that I could save that phrase for moments like this. But that's not very realistic, is it? When you love someone, it seeps out of everything you do. It bleeds into everything you say. It becomes so ever-present that eventually it becomes ordinary to hear, no matter how extraordinary it is to feel. Okay, and then one final one. It is so hard to be so honest, so vulnerable, so exposed, but I find it always leads you someplace freer. And I feel like all of those quotes are saying very obvious things. They're not like new quotes or particularly poetic or poignant, but just the way that they were written and at the points in the story that they came made them feel that way. The only thing that I didn't really enjoy as much about this one was that I feel like the events happen, or sort of the final events happen in such a short amount of time for the maturity and the ease with which they accept things. I just feel like those things wouldn't be accepted or come to terms with quite as quickly as the author sort of wraps them up in. But that's just my opinion. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars just because of that. But otherwise, this was an incredible read, and I would really, really recommend it if you want a good summer read that is thoughtful and emotional. So to lift me out of this mood, I am very excited to pick up Anne of Avonlea. I'm really hoping that Anne will bring me out of this sad mood. Sad mood, but in a good way. I'm hoping that the whimsicalness and charm of these stories will, just lighten my spirit. So I'm going to get on with reading this. It's currently 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It's like 9 o'clock. So I don't have long to read tonight. But I might end up extending this video a little bit into tomorrow morning because I'm rapidly feeling very tired, and I definitely want to make sure I have sleep. So we'll see how much we can do. Might go into tomorrow. Let's get started with Anne of Avonlea. So, as predicted, I did indeed fall asleep reading Anne of Avonlea. However, I picked it back up the following morning and took myself to a coffee shop to get as much reading done as possible before I was back into my week. I ended up getting halfway through before I had to leave, and although I didn't finish my 2 books that I wanted to finish, I am really happy with how much I read on a very sleepy day, and I'm really enjoying being back in Anne's world with this book. I can't wait to share more of my thoughts with you. So that marks the end of this video. Thank you so much if you stuck around until the end. I truly mean it when I say that it means the world to me that you're here watching this video. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.